I've often heard people say things like you're a lot or you feel too deeply. For the longest time, I thought they were right. Not because I genuinely believed I was too much, but because it kept happening. Different people. Same reaction. I wasn't born intense or complicated. I think I just grew into it, or maybe life made me that way. I've always noticed little things, the way someone's tone shifts mid-sentence, the energy in a room when something unspoken lingers. I've always felt a need to ask questions that go deeper than "How was your day?" or "What do you do for work?" That's just how I connect. But somewhere along the way, that stopped being endearing to people. It started becoming overthinking, overreacting, being too emotional. At first, I tried dialing it down, being more casual, brushing things off, not asking too much or expecting anything real. But that didn't feel like me. So I would swing in the opposite direction. Being open, expressive, full of curiosity and care. And every time someone pulled away, I internalized it. Maybe they were just busy. Maybe they didn't want something serious. Or maybe I really was too much. So I started doing this thing, I would over-explain myself. I'd tell people up front, "Hey, I get really passionate about things," or "Sometimes I talk too much when I'm excited, just let me know if I go off track." Like a warning label on a product, may contain intensity. I wasn't bitter about it, just cautious. I still had hope. I still wanted closeness, realness, something where I didn't have to shrink myself. But I didn't realize how much I was quietly bracing for rejection every time I let someone in. Every text, every call, every "How are you?" felt like walking a tightrope. I was always waiting for the moment when the other person would pull away, disappear, or say the dreaded "You're just too much." It became exhausting, like I was performing an emotional balancing act, hoping not to fall. I started noticing patterns in myself. When someone didn't reply right away, my mind would race. Did I say something wrong? Did I overwhelm them? Was I being too intense again? And instead of asking, I'd retreat into silence, trying to protect myself before they had the chance to reject me. It wasn't healthy. But it was survival. Then, one day, something changed. I met someone who didn't run. Not because they were immune to my intensity, but because they welcomed it. They didn't see my depth as a problem. They saw it as a part of me, maybe even the best part. For the first time, I didn't have to warn them. I didn't have to apologize for being myself. I didn't have to water down my feelings or hide my curiosity. Instead, I was met with genuine interest, patience, and understanding. That was terrifying and liberating all at once. Because trusting someone with all of that, the rawness, the complexity, the chaos, is scary. It's like handing someone a fragile piece of your soul and hoping they don't drop it. And yet, this person held it carefully. They asked questions when I shared, they listened without judgment, and they stayed even when I got emotional or overthought something. I realized something I hadn't before. It's not me who's too much. It's the people who aren't willing to hold space for all of me. I remember the exact moment this thought hit me, like a sudden flash of clarity amid years of confusion. It wasn't about me being too anything. It was about me trying to fit into molds that were never meant for me. It was about being around people who wanted me to dim my light so theirs could shine a little brighter. For so long, I thought the problem was my intensity, my depth, my curiosity, my vulnerability. But really, the problem was where I was showing up with all that. The problem was being with people who saw my soul as a burden rather than a gift. What does it mean to hold space for someone? It means accepting all parts of them without judgment, the messy, the joyful, the complicated, the contradictory. It means making room for their full humanity, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. It means being willing to sit with someone's discomfort instead of running away from it. And I had been surrounded by people who weren't willing to do that. So I shrank. I tried to make myself smaller to fit inside their limits, and in the process, I lost pieces of myself. But when I finally met someone who did hold space for me, everything shifted. He didn't just tolerate my intensity, he leaned into it. He asked questions when I shared, even the uncomfortable ones. He didn't flinch when I cried or got frustrated. He let me be vulnerable without trying to fix me or tell me to calm down. It was like breathing fresh air after holding my breath for years. I started to unpack what this meant for me. I realized I'd been carrying around a lot of shame about who I was, shame that was never mine to carry. It was handed down by people who couldn't meet me where I was. That shame made me cautious. It made me preemptively apologize. It made me explain myself before anyone had the chance to be confused or overwhelmed. But I don't have to do that anymore. I learned to say, "This is me." And to mean it. I started setting boundaries that protected my energy and honored my truth. I stopped shrinking to make others comfortable. Instead, I made space for people who could hold space for me. And guess what? Those people exist. They're not everywhere. You have to look for them, sometimes a long time. Sometimes you have to walk away from relationships that have become too small for you. But when you find those people, they change the game. They see your passion, your depth, your intensity, and they say, "Tell me more." They don't run when you get emotional. They sit with you, hold your hand, and remind you it's okay to feel all the things. They celebrate your curiosity and your questions, even when they don't have answers. This is what real connection looks like. Not just surface-level small talk or casual "how are you" texts. Real connection means being seen. Being heard. Being known, fully and unapologetically. I'm still learning how to do this every day. Sometimes, old fears creep back in. Sometimes, I catch myself apologizing out of habit. Sometimes, I wonder if I'm too much again. But then I remember that it's not about me. It's about who's willing to show up. So if you're out there, feeling like you're too much, remember this. You are not the problem. You are whole. You are enough. And the right people will come, the ones who don't run, who don't shrink you, who hold space for all of you. Here's the truth no one tells you. Being yourself, truly yourself, is the bravest thing you can do. It's scary to show your whole self. It's scary to be vulnerable. It's scary to hope someone will stay. But it's also the only way to find people who truly belong in your life. So keep showing up. Keep asking the deep questions. Keep feeling deeply. Keep being you. Because you deserve that kind of love, the kind that doesn't ask you to be less. And if nobody has told you this lately, you are not too much. You are not too sensitive for wanting honest conversations. You are not too intense for craving connection that actually means something. You are not too emotional for having a heart that notices what others try to ignore. You are just someone who feels the world deeply, and there is nothing wrong with that. In fact, we need more people like you. People who care. People who ask. People who don't look away when things get uncomfortable. I used to think I needed to be easier to love. Quieter. Simpler. Less complicated. I thought if I could just soften the edges, maybe then someone would stay. Maybe then they wouldn't walk away once they saw the full picture. So I edited myself. I clipped the parts that I thought were too much and kept only the pleasant, easy-to-digest versions. But do you know what that did? It made me feel more alone than ever. Because if someone loves the version of you that isn't really you, then you still feel unseen, even when you're not alone. Real love, real connection, doesn't ask you to fit a mold. It doesn't come with conditions like, be more chill or don't take things so personally or stop being dramatic. It says, I see you. I hear you. I'm still here. That's the kind of connection that heals old wounds. That's the kind of presence that quiets the voice in your head that says you're too much. That's the kind of relationship we all deserve, whether it's romantic, platonic, or even with ourselves. So I stopped editing myself. I started saying what I meant. Feeling what I felt. Being who I am, even if it made some people uncomfortable. And slowly, the right people started showing up. The ones who didn't flinch at my honesty. Who didn't ask me to shrink? Who stayed? And that's when I learned. I was never too much. I was just never with people who could hold it. So if you've ever felt like you are, please know. You're not the problem. You're not too much. You're just waiting for the ones who can meet you fully. Keep being you. The right people won't run, they'll reach.